welcome back to Retro Rewind, where we dust off the classics and see how they hold up in 2025. Today, we're diving into City Racer, a 2003 street racing game for the Nintendo Gamecube that tried to burn rubber in a crowded field of racing titans. Is it a forgotten gem or a crash and burn relic? Let's take it for a spin, compare it to its peers from the early 2000s, and see how it stacks up against modern racing games. Developed by Ubisoft and released in 2003, City Racer was a budget-friendly arcade racer that aimed to capture the street racing craze of the early 2000s. With a focus on urban tracks, car customization, and a pumping soundtrack, it wanted to be the cool kid on the block. You race through cities like New York and London, unlocking cars and upgrades while dodging traffic and pulling off drifts. Sounds familiar, right? That's because City Racer was riding the wave of the Fast and Furious franchise and the illegal street racing scene that was all the rage back then. But let's be real, City Racer wasn't exactly pulling up to the starting line next to Need for Speed Underground or Midnight Club 2. It was more like that one friend who shows up to the car meet with a stock Honda Civic but still thinks they're Vin Diesel. Gameplay in City Racer is pure arcade. You've got tight controls, a forgiving drift system, and a nitro boost that feels satisfying when you nail it. The tracks are packed with shortcuts and dynamic obstacles like traffic, which keeps things chaotic in a good way. The customization is surprisingly deep for a budget title. Think body kits, decals, and performance upgrades. It's no Gran Turismo, but for 2003, it was a solid effort. That said, the AI is about as predictable as a toddler driving a Power Wheels. Opponents either ram you off the road or fall so far behind you're racing yourself. And the physics? Let's just say your car handles like it's on a Hot Wheels track. Floaty, but somehow fun. The GameCube's controller, with its chunky analog stick, makes it feel tactile though. There's a charm to wrestling with those controls. In 2003, the racing genre was a battleground. Need for Speed Underground brought neon-lit streets and a killer soundtrack, setting the gold standard for arcade racers. Midnight Club 2 offered open-world chaos and a gritty vibe, while Burnout 3 Takedown was all about high-octane crashes. In City Racer, it tried to blend a bit of everything: customization, urban vibes, and accessibility, but it lacked the polish and budget of its rivals. Think of City Racer as the scrappy underdog. It didn't have the cinematic flair of Underground or the open-world ambition of Midnight Club, but it was a solid $20 pickup for kids who couldn't afford the big dogs. If you grew up with a GameCube and a tight allowance, this was your jam. It's like comparing a homemade burger to a gourmet meal. It's not fancy, but it hits the spot. Fast forward to 2025, and City Racer feels like a time capsule. Compared to modern racers like Forza Horizon 5 with its jaw-dropping open worlds, or Gran Turismo 7 with its photorealistic visuals, City Racer looks like a PS1 game with a GameCube glow-up. The blocky models and low-res textures are rough, and the draw distance is so short you'll see buildings pop in like they're late for the race. But here's the thing, it's still fun. The simplicity of City Racer is refreshing in an era of bloated, always online racers with microtransactions. No battle passes, no server issues, just you, a disc, and some cheesy techno beats. In 2025, where games like Need for Speed Heat lean hard into customization and story, City Racer feels like a proto-version of that vibe. It's raw, unpolished, and oddly endearing. So, what's the verdict on City Racer in 2025? It's not a classic, and it's not going to dethrone Mario Kart Double Dash as the GameCube's racing king. But for a budget title, it punches above its weight with solid gameplay, decent customization, and a nostalgic vibe that takes you back to simpler times. It's a reminder of when games didn't need 4K graphics or a 100-hour campaign to be fun. If you've got a GameCube collecting dust and a craving for some retro racing, City Racer is worth a spin for the nostalgia alone. Just don't expect to be blown away like you were by Underground's intro movie. That's it for our City Racer review. Have you played this GameCube racer, or do you have a favorite retro racing game? Drop it in the comments and let's talk. If you enjoyed this trip down memory lane, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell for more Retro Rewind. Next time, we're tackling another forgotten gem. Any guesses? Stay tuned and keep racing.